Hey there, friend. Have you ever finished a simple task, like folding laundry or watering the plants, and thought, why do I feel so drained these days? Or maybe you've caught yourself staring at the stairs, wondering where that spring in your step went? You're not alone. As we get a little wiser in years, our bodies start asking for a little extra TLC. But here's the good news. What we eat can be our secret weapon to feeling vibrant, energetic, and ready to tackle life head-on, no matter the number on the birthday cake. Today, we're diving into 7 superfoods that doctors and nutritionists swear by for keeping us sharp, strong, and full of life after 60. These aren't fancy, hard-to-find ingredients or expensive supplements. They're simple, delicious foods you might already have in your pantry. And if you don't, they're just a quick grocery trip away. Let's start with one of my personal favorites, a sweet little powerhouse that's as tasty as it is good for you. Meet your new best friend, berries. Whether it's blueberries, strawberries, or raspberries, these colorful gems are packed with something called antioxidants. Think of them as tiny bodyguards fighting off the wear and tear of aging. They protect your cells, boost your brain health, and even help keep your heart humming smoothly. And the best part? They're nature's candy. Toss a handful into your morning oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or just enjoy them by the spoonful. My neighbor Margaret starts her day with a bowl of Greek yogurt and berries. She says it's like dessert for breakfast, but her doctor calls it medicine. Now, let's talk about a superfood that might not sound exciting, but trust me, it's a game changer. Picture this. Deep green leaves, crisp and fresh, almost singing with nutrients. I'm talking about leafy greens, kale, spinach, Swiss chard, you name it. These greens are like a multivitamin in food form. They're loaded with vitamins K and C, which keep your bones strong and your immune system ready for action. Plus, they've got fiber to keep your digestion happy. No more feeling sluggish after meals. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to eat a boring salad every day. Good news, you don't have to. Sneak a handful of spinach into your scrambled eggs, stir some chopped kale into a soup, or make a pesto with basil and arugula. My buddy Frank adds a fistful of greens to his fruit smoothies. He says he can't even taste them, but his energy levels? Through the roof. All right, let's move on to something crunchy, satisfying, and perfect for snacking. Nuts and seeds. Walnuts, almonds, chia seeds, flax seeds. These little guys are bursting with healthy fats, protein, and omega-3s. They're like a tune-up for your brain and heart. And no, you don't need to eat a whole bag. Just a small handful a day does the trick. Sprinkle them on oatmeal, mix them into a trail mix, or keep a jar of almond butter handy for a quick apple dip. My Aunt Betty used to carry a bag of almonds in her purse. She called them her get-up-and-go pills. Now, I want you to try something for me this week. Pick one of these superfoods, berries, greens, or nuts, and add it to just one meal a day. See how you feel. Does your afternoon slump feel a little lighter? Do your joints thank you when you get out of bed? Small changes really do add up. And guess what? We've only scratched the surface. Coming up next, we'll explore a humble kitchen staple that fights inflammation like a champ, plus a creamy, delicious food that's been called the fountain of youth in some parts of the world. Oh, and I'll share my favorite 5-minute recipe that combines 3 of these superfoods into a meal that'll make you feel like a superhero. Until then, why not grab a handful of berries or nuts and give your body that extra boost it deserves? Remember, friend, you've got so much life left to live. Let's make every bite count. You know, when I first heard the word superfood, I'll admit, I pictured something exotic, like a rare fruit from the Amazon or a seaweed only divers can find. But the truth is, some of the most powerful foods are ones we've had in our kitchens for generations. Take this, for example. Meet the humble lentil. These tiny legumes might not look like much, but they're like little energy capsules disguised as food. Think about it. They're packed with protein to keep your muscles strong, fiber to keep your digestion humming, and iron to fight off that afternoon fatigue. And here's the kicker. They're one of the best foods out there for calming inflammation. You know, that quiet ache in your joints or the stiffness when you get out of bed. Lentils help tackle that at the source. Now, I get it. Cooking dried lentils might sound like a chore. But here's a trick my friend Clara taught me. Cook a big batch on Sunday, and you've got lunches ready for the week. Toss them into soups, mix them with roasted veggies, or mash them into a spread for toast. Clara swears by her lentil days. She says by Thursday, she's got enough energy to outpace her grandkids at the park. Now, let's talk about something creamy, dreamy, and downright magical. If lentils are the quiet heroes, yogurt is the life of the party, especially the Greek kind, thick, tangy, and loaded with probiotics. These friendly bacteria aren't just good for your gut. They're like little cheerleaders for your immune system. And for those of us over 60, yogurt's got another superpower: calcium and vitamin D to keep our bones sturdy. No more tiptoeing around icy sidewalks in winter. Here's how I like to enjoy mine: a dollop of Greek yogurt, a handful of those berries we talked about earlier, and a sprinkle of nuts. It's like a dessert, but your body will think it's hitting the jackpot. My cousin Roy, who's 78, eats this every morning. He calls it his youth potion. Last month, he painted his entire garage solo. Said he felt like he was 50 again. Now, let's put this all together. Remember that 5-minute recipe I promised? Here's my go-to when I'm short on time, but want a meal that packs a punch. Grab a bowl of those leafy greens we talked about: spinach, kale, whatever you've got. Add a scoop of lentils, a spoonful of yogurt for creaminess, and a crunch of nuts. Drizzle it with olive oil, maybe a squeeze of lemon. That's it. You've got a meal that covers 4 of our 7 superfoods. It's like a symphony of good health, and it tastes fantastic. Here's what I want you to remember. Eating well isn't about perfection. It's about adding more of the good stuff, one meal at a time. Maybe today you try lentils in your soup, or swap your afternoon cookie for a yogurt parfait. Small steps, friend. They add up to big changes. Next time, we'll chat about a swimming superfood that's been linked to sharper brains and healthier hearts, plus a golden spice that's been warming kitchens and healing bodies for thousands of years. And I'll share a simple, savory recipe that'll make your taste buds dance while your body thanks you. Until then, why not raid your pantry and see what superfoods are already hiding in there? You might be surprised how powerful your next meal can be. Friend, have you ever stood at the edge of a lake, watched the sunlight dance on the water, and thought, I want to feel this alive every single day? That's the power of fueling your body with foods that don't just fill you up. They lift you up. Today, we're rounding out our list of 7 doctor-approved superfoods with 2 gems that'll make your heart sing and your body thrive. Let's start with one that's practically swimming with benefits. Meat fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, you name it. These swimmers are loaded with omega-3s, which I like to call brain butter. They keep your neurons firing smoothly, protect your heart, and even help ease those creaky joints. And here's a tip. If fresh fish feels pricey or tricky to prepare, canned salmon or sardines work just as well. My pal Ed tosses canned salmon into his scrambled eggs every morning. He says it's like giving his brain a cup of coffee, but better. Now, let's add a pop of sunshine to this dish. Ever heard of turmeric? This golden spice has been a staple in kitchens and medicine cabinets for thousands of years. It's got a compound called curcumin that's a ninja at fighting inflammation. Think of it as a cozy blanket for your joints and your brain. But here's the trick. Pair it with a pinch of black pepper. That boosts its power tenfold. Stir it into soups, sprinkle it on roasted veggies, or make a warming turmeric latte. My neighbor Rosa adds it to her oatmeal. She calls it her sunrise bowl. Now, let's put these last 2 superstars together. Remember that savory recipe I mentioned? Here's one you'll love: turmeric spiced salmon. Rub a fillet with olive oil, turmeric, a dash of black pepper, and a squeeze of lemon. Bake it for 15 minutes, and you've got a meal that's as easy as it is powerful. Serve it with a side of those leafy greens we talked about, and boom, you're covering 6 superfoods in one plate. Let's take a step back. Over these 3 parts, we've talked about berries, greens, nuts, lentils, yogurt, fatty fish, and turmeric. 7 simple foods. But here's the secret. You don't need to overhaul your diet overnight. Start with 1. Swap your afternoon chips for a handful of walnuts. Add a spoonful of turmeric to your soup. Or try my sunrise bowl. Yogurt, berries, and a sprinkle of nuts. Every bite is a chance to choose you. Years ago, I thought aging meant slowing down, accepting aches, fatigue, and brain fog as just part of getting older. But then I met folks in their 80s hiking mountains, starting new hobbies, and laughing louder than anyone in the room. Know what they all had in common? They fueled their adventures, not with miracle pills or fad diets, with real, wholesome foods. And you can too. So here's my challenge to you. This week, pick one new superfood from our list and give it a starring role in your meals. Share how it goes in the comments below. I read every single one. Did your morning walk feel easier? Did your grandkids ask why you're suddenly so full of beans? I want to hear it all. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, we share tips like these to help you live your healthiest, happiest life after 60. Because you deserve to feel amazing, friend. Not for your age. Period. Here's to strong bones, sharp minds, and hearts full of joy. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Now go out there and savor every bite of life.